Aha. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of what essentially amounts to Boston by Night, where there is Alice, who is in a bit of a state, a little bit of a state, just a touch of a state, curled up in her room, sequestered from the rest of the household, in her PJs, cocooned firmly in a blanket, somehow managing to balance her laptop on her lap, the cord disappearing up into the cocoon, with her headphones plugged firmly into the jack. And yeah, the sound from the movie that she's watching, one of the Aliens franchise, because why not? Well, mostly because she really didn't want anything that had the overtones of family. And it's just a running thing in horror that people are terrified by the idea of losing family. So many of the horror movies fucking rotate around it, and she didn't want it. So it's Aliens. God damn it. Because this is a classic. So yeah, she is coiled up in her room in the dark in her PJs, clothes kind of flung around because she had a nasty case of the fuckets when she got in, and the sound from the movie, the suspenseful music, the screams, all just blaring in her ears loudly enough that it's probably even partially audible, beyond the headphones, for all that they're over the ear type. And yeah, there sits Alice, coping, sort of.
After about 20 minutes, she'll hear a on the door.
Does she, though?
I mean, it gets degrees of louder. It'll be pop, 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 pop. It doesn't hear pop, 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 pop. Boom, 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 boom. Alice Love! You know what I mean?
Yeah, it probably escalates to a certain degree before the slam of a fist against the door. She finally kind of blinks and reaches up, flicking one side of the headphones off of her ear, and finally, kind of scrambles a little bit, an arm extending from the cocoon to pause the movie as she kind of squints towards the door. She bumped the headset the rest of the way off around her ears. What?
Alice Love! Still screaming at the top of his lungs.
Hey! You can just open the door.
Hang on, love. Hang on. You just hear like several bits struggling as he kind of stumbles in.
And she will just kind of bemused look him up and down as Niall invades her sanctuary.
He sticks his head. He sticks his head like a possum. I can't see anything, love. You in there?
Yeah. She kind of minimizes the window with the movie in it because, of course, Aliens is just constantly shot in the dark. There's almost no light coming off the screen. But if she minimizes the window, the bright background on the computer lights at least her up a little bit.
Oh, shit. Oh, stumbles over the door and comes in and closes it, like scudders and closes it. Holds up. You see in the vague darkness, that is a popcorn thing you put in the microwave and what looks to be a milkshake. Holds out in front of him, like, yeah.
She just kind of looks between him and the door, and then him.
I thought you wanted some things for your movies, Melv. Can't watch movies without, like, milkshakes and popcorn. That's what my mom used to say. Sage nod.
Oh, yeah, of course. She kind of turns her head this way and that way for a second, kind of assessing, and finally shuffles over on the bed. Kind of leaving that room on the side for someone to plop down.
Yep, he swaggers over, and then sits down.
The cocoon opens.
Squiggles in like a bird.
Yep. Niall will find himself wrapped up in her comforter, which has been pulled off the top of the bed and is no longer tucked in like it is meant to be. And he will be wrapped in the giant cocoon. Oh yeah, Alice is chilling in her PJs. Nothing scandalous. I mean, these are nice PJs. Thankfully, they're not like lingerie and shit. It's just, PJ shirt, PJ pants. Just comfy, silky ones. Then yeah, she even shuffles the laptop for a moment, pulls the headset off from around her head, kind of flicks it onto the bed. So, is everything okay?
Just kind of rubs his face, hands her opens the popcorn and places it right down on her lap.
And she will begin absently, plucking out a piece of popcorn here and there, just because that is what you do when there's popcorn where you can reach it.
And he'll like spin the straw around on the milkshake thing and point it right at her face.
She will begrudgingly give him a faint grin and go ahead and take hold of the milkshake.
It is totally strawberry milkshake.
All the strawberry. So much strawberry.
Mm-hmm. So much strawberry.
Yep, she takes charge of this milkshake. Still shooting him kind of a tentatively inquisitive glance to the side.
You could have rubbed the back of his head. It's getting there, mate. It's getting there, love. I thought I'd give a check on you as well, since, well, got to check on the girls, love, mate.
It's fine. She reaches out and, kind of careful not to knock over the bag of popcorn that is now balanced on her lap, will reach over to pull out the headset jack. Kind of tuck it off to the side, onto the table beside the bed.
I'm going to put it like this, love. I'm going to rub his jaw. Stares down at the movie like,
Yep, she brings the window back up. It's like paused, mid-scene with the fucking alien, like, splayed over the screen.
I remember going to see that, but it actually came out in theaters, love.
No?
I remember, well, it wasn't actually Aliens, it was Alien, mate. First one.
Yeah, I'm binging.
I remember when I saw it in theaters. We were all like, what? Well, I didn't get to see most of it, though. I got thrown out. My mate Pukey was shagging his bird, and I was the faithful lookout, except I wasn't really faithful. I ended up watching the movie. And they all got caught, and I tried to help by hitting the security guard, so I got thrown out.
Your friend's name is Pukey?
Yeah. Don't question why I was, love. It's not good to be questioned that while he was eating his food.
Okay. There's a processing moment. I mean, at least you got to see some of it. Lucky.
I did. I watched it later though. Ivy showed me it, and I was surprised. I thought it was going to end a different ending.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you expect it to end?
I thought the android was going to kill them all. Like the fucking what's that movie? Clicks his fingers. I'm sorry, Dave. You know that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to end up like that, and then the alien turns out was going to be a robot as well, and oh well, I was wrong.
No, there definitely was already an enemy in the aliens.
Oh well, life's full of surprises like that. Grins at her.
Yes, so.
Gives her like a crane of his head, smiling at her. It's the big goofy smile, big endearing goofy smile.
Yeah, she just kind of ends up. I mean, all things considered, they're cocooned in a single giant blanket, so she's already kind of right up against him, and yeah, she'll lean over. It's not a kind of like romantic affection. It's just she's comfortable enough to kind of lean against his side.
He puts his arm around her, very paternally.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, love. Let's get down to brass tacks then. Since we're both sitting here in the quiet corner in the blanket and watching scary movies, this feels weirdly like some sort of sitcom moment. But let's get down to brass tacks. All right, love. Just say it with a smile. Because I'm not really good at the I share your feelings, you share mine, and we all have a good cry. Not good at that little bit, love.
Okay.
You grin nervously. She's not mad at you.
I mean,
No.
no, she's just upset, and I made it worse.
No, you didn't, love.
Yeah, I did. I could see I made it worse.
No, love. You didn't. You really didn't. I'd tell you if you did, mate. Problem is, Alice, Ivy's got a lot of history. And she's quite sensitive to a few things. She knows you meant well. I know you meant well. I thought personally it was a great idea.
Yeah, well,
But Ivy
the road to hell and all.
Ivy even feels guilty for her own reactions.
She shouldn't.
She does, though. Ivy's has her days where she's the brightest thing in the room, like a fucking moon. It just shines. And she has other days where she's just as low as anything else. Unfortunately, one of those days just rolled around quick because, let's just say, Ivy has some stuff there.
Yeah.
And she worries and she freaks out. But she's not mad at you, and she's alright. She's just... You can't rub his face. You're gonna have to see her at her lowest point, love. It's part of the process.
She'd been so happy before.
Not. It's like that. It really is. It's really like that some days. But she has her low moments, and sometimes the slightest little thing can make those low moments scream out like a rooster alerting the hens over which egg he's gonna lay next.
She kind of looks at him for a second.
He keeps going. Like, yeah, doesn't even pause to think about what he just said.
Oh, she just kind of shakes her head. I mean, I saw her get kind of freaked out, and I thought it would cheer her up, and it did literally the opposite. And if I'd asked literally anyone, they probably could have told me it was a bad idea.
I would have told you, let's do it selectively. Do you know what I mean?
Which means it's a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Turns a glance up at him.
That's not a bad idea. That's not what I said. I said you introduce that thing to Ivy slowly. You see, Ivy has some issues. Not every person's sire is kind to them, love. And every person as lucky as you to have me and Ivy.
Yeah. I just figured it was kind of cheesy. She likes cheesy stuff.
She knows you meant well. It's just, for her, the topic of mom is sensitive. You couldn't have known that.
I could have asked, I bet, like, literally anyone.
None of that. None of this. I could have asked the world, and you could have been on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and asked $1 million question, love.
There's like 1 million people just in this house.
Not even the ghouls know that, love.
None of them?
Why would they? Why would they? It's not their business.
I mean, they're her family.
Yeah, you don't tell the ghouls everything, though, love. Points to the side of his head. That means people can find out about you quick.
I mean, I don't know.
You tell them things that they should know, but not everything. There are rules, you see.
She just kind of shrugs. They just
it's for their
family.
It's for their safety as well as yours, love. So that's why. And she's not going to tell you straight away, oh, by the way, Alice, this is a brand big new world you're in, and by the way, this is a really big topic, so we shouldn't mention that.
No,
Who
no,
who
just
talks about the stuff that hurts them, really?
I mean, she knows about the stuff that hurt me. That's
Of
how I
course
ended
she
up here,
does.
right?
Of course she does. But did you actually go, hey, Ivy, by the way?
No, she was just there when it happened.
Exactly. Circumstance. I mean, even old Niall has stuff that hurts him, but I don't tell anybody. Why would I wanna?
So they don't hurt you?
There you go, you see?
I mean, that seems like a pretty good reason.
And it was just an accident, love. A well-intentioned thing that sometimes had a bit more ramifications that you didn't anticipate. That you could have not have no way known. And now Ivy feels absolutely awful, and you feel absolutely awful, and other girls are all feeling awful.
So I didn't just make Ivy feel awful. I made literally everyone feel awful.
Ah,
She like shoots him
with the nose.
a glance. It's obviously meant to be a little dramatic.
He boops her nose so much, like 4 or 5 taps in the face.
She ends up like picking up her offhand and kind of rubbing at her eye. The distant one just kind of like, nope, everything's fine.
There's none of that. No self-blame.
I don't know.
I'll take that.
Sure.
No, I'll take that. I would take that milkshake back, love.
Oh hell no, no, this is mine now.
Well then, what are we not going to do?
Tell you until I'm done.
Give me the milkshake.
Hmm.
Well then, can't fool me, love. Smart as fuck. But I don't want you to feel bad. You should go talk to her. You should go talk to her.
This seems like the worst possible time to talk to her.
Not now, you. Not now. Later on. Maybe tomorrow. You get up there and you give her the biggest hug. Get up there and you just... You don't blame yourself or you don't blame her. And more importantly, you let her know it's okay. And let yourself know it's okay. That way in there doesn't start ticking at you again.
She kind of flicks an idle glance to the door because the urge to go click the lock is rising exponentially over time.
You can already feel it ticking, can't you?
She obviously like seriously weighs the the benefit of lying about it. I guess I don't.
It just ticks and ticks away. You just don't even feel it come in some days. You can hear it all the time and then you wonder how it got so fucking loud. Problem is, if you let it just creep in like an insect, well, it's gonna creep all over your brain. Could be over the slightest thing.
It's worse when it's quiet.
Yeah, it is.
I'd rather it be loud.
Depends on how loud it gets, though, love. Too loud and you can't see who you are and what you are anymore.
I've never gotten too loud, just too quiet.
Just Brad gives her a squeeze.
She remains pretty complacently, up under his arm.
And see, Ivy, she doesn't have the tick or she doesn't have any of that. Some days she's sad and some days she's happy. She's beautiful. Sometimes that beauty can make it the world either the greatest place in the world or the saddest place.
I guess I've just never seen her sad.
Sadness is it. She tries her best, but there are some topics that even the great Ivy can't hold on away from. And unfortunately, you saw one of them. So, this is a big lesson for you. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's going to teach you how to deal with your own as well.
I mean, I don't know. I just
'Cause there's-
kind of seem to make sense. She
'Cause there's-
does.
Because there's going to be a voice in there that tells you, you're the worst person in the world now. Always is.
I mean, that's just normal.
Yeah, but this one is even more just, when you justify it. Justification gives it a lot of power.
She does kind of the sad little smile. I mean, I already.
Yeah, you already justified it. I know, love. I know.
I mean, this isn't even the worst time. Sometimes it's just justified.
Nudges her slightly. That's why I'm here, love.
I mean, unless you can change things that have already happened.
You can't change the things that already happened, but you can choose the way you're going to change things that are going to happen, love. See, for example, you can go talk to Ivy, and you two can heal together. Or you can shout and scream and cry and roar, or you can just lie there and watch movies together. Don't have to say a bloody single thing. It all depends on what you choose to, because your head, I'll tell you about 50 bazillion trillion ways. Like a rooster coming out for the fucking chicken hens. But if you decide to just cry and just let it all wash over you like a fucking wave, well then, no point in using the guidelines then, is there?
She goes a little more lax, but kind of shoots him a perplexed look. The guidelines say you can't be sad.
It's not that you can't be sad, love. No. Everyone's sad. But there's a difference between sad and letting emotion govern every decision you make based on one incident that that you choose to believe is entirely your fault. There's a difference between an emotionally governed mind and a rationally governed mind and a wise mind. Emotionally governed mind is what we're both doing right now. Well, you and Ivy, anyway, definitely. Bit of me too, of course. So worry. Rational is trying to approach this logically, the plan. And a wise mind understands both the importance of both. It's okay to be sad, but you and her need each other. And when does self-blame become too much?
I don't know.
That's the question, isn't it, love? I personally I think you've done enough self-blaming.
She, the milkshake has been kind of propped down on her knee. She just kind of shakes her head a bit, reaches up again, rubbing with her offhand across her eyes. Because big girls don't cry, right?
puts his arm around her, so she like firmly squeezes into his chest.
So much stupid shit over his stupid mug.
And there's nothing wrong with crying either. You just need to know when to cry. Whispers, now's one of those times, love.
She finally kind of like snuffles. But she doesn't resist at all, and in fact, kind of like nests up into his chest. It's a very kind of, I mean, it's all in all kind of a childish thing to do, but let's face it, she kind of needs the support anyways. So she does. You know what the really stupid part is?
What?
I got you a thing too, and I was so freaked out.
What'd you get me?
Maybe you get mad.
What'd you get me? He sounds like a curious fucking bird, you know.
And she again kind of reaches up, rubbing at the corner of an eye, and points down to the foot of the bed where the trunk is set. That bag she'd been carrying around earlier is still like just plopped on top, or she probably dropped it.
Does a curious scoop and picks it out of the bag.
And yeah, it's just like a generic shopping bag. It's not like there's wrapping. It's just the ridiculous embroidered hat.
Well, sign up my boots and call me Nora, love. Look at that.
What I call you?
You know what? I'm gonna wear this around Alexis. Puts it proudly on top of his head.
You gonna think I'm stealing you?
Oh well. I'll tell him. No, I'll ask him. Don't you agree, mate? Grins at her. He looks fucking delighted.
I thought after the first one, maybe this one would like make everything just explode, and so.
Why would I explode? I am the best dad in the world, love. Fatherly as fuck, mate. Taps the side of his head at the sign.
She just keeps reaching up periodically and wiping at her face like she's refusing to let the shit go down her cheeks. She's catching them before they get there. Albeit her hand is kind of bloody at the moment as a result, but...
And Niall's about to make a roll, because this is what he's very, very good at. Charisma expression. 1, 2, 3. You reach over as he spots her crying. You try not to cry, and you reach over and touch her hand with 3 successes and smile. Alice, for fuck's sake, love. It's alright to cry. I'm not going to say shit. Best dad in the world. Best dad in the world doesn't say anything. Besides, everyone's allowed to cry. You give her a lopsided grin.
And how many successes do you get?
3.
Yeah, she, it loosens up a bit more. She, like, actually has one managed to, like, kind of blink out of her eye. And, still kind of weakly grinning. Crying doesn't help anything.
But sometimes it's the most healthiest thing you can do, love, because crying, even though you've got blood everywhere, like wipes your face with tissue, is often proven that crying your eyes out like a big baby is quite often the healthiest thing, because believe you me, Titanic, mate, cried my eyes out. No shame.
Such a long movie. Oh my god.
I know. I was really rooting for Leonardo DiCaprio, and I really didn't like Kate Winslet. I wasn't crying because Kate Winslet lost Leonardo. I was crying for Leonardo DiCaprio, man. That guy got shafted. Not
Yeah,
right, mate.
It was pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm. I even whispered at the television, I was rooting for you, mate.
Oh god. Starts just, picks up the hand where you got like a thumb on one eye and the finger on the other, start rubbing, like. Does everything just keep sucking?
Not really. You got me, and you got Ivy, and you got the gang. And you've got, well, Ethan likes you. Lefty likes you. Dawson probably likes you.
Well, as long as the thug gang likes me.
We're not the thug gang. We are the information situation squad, love.
Information.
We're providing information through different means, love. Points to the side of his head.
I guess. Just that didn't seem
It was
like...
a bit of a it was a bit of an extreme circumstance, love, but every person adapts to extreme situations.
Yeah. God, if they gotten all the bodies out?
Not. Sorted it, love. Don't you be worrying. Give her a grin.
You said that last guy, he wasn't there.
No, love, he wasn't there. Sometimes the mind can play awful tricks sometimes. Just rubs her shoulder softly.
And she finally leans back into him. Again, the kind of face on his chest. It's bad.
Believe you me, it was quite frightening the first time it happened to me, love, as well.
But it wasn't real.
No. It wasn't real.
Good. Because you were there.
Exactly, love. I was there.
No, like you were there. Ivy was there.
Oh, love. You want to know how you fix that?
Yeah.
It's a fundamental part of the guidelines. Hold out your wrist, love.
He just kind of obediently picks up the hand that's not holding the milkshake.
Puts his hand on his. Now scroll up my arm, love.
She does?
When you reach up to the point where it connects to the tricep and the elbow, he jumps back. Ticklish.
Yeah, he
love?
jerks and it actually startles a bit of a jump out of her.
Ticklish, love. See? Guidelines.
What about Ivy?
Don't tell her I told you this, but she he whispers in, like almost like he's about to tell you a big joke. Her handshake. Got a little tremor in her hands. It's the most cutest thing I've ever seen. And she always takes a breath before she inhales. She goes, well, he grins. And she does a scrunchy up face when he describes several of Ivy's tics. It's kind of hilarious. It's probably very endearing how he seems to know so much about Ivy.
Yeah, she's still just kind of casually. Thankfully, she's not going into a fit of sobbing. She's just kind of here and there. She leaks a tear out, kind of wipes it off. Preferably trying to do so before they hit his shirt. So you guys really feel that way, right?
Feel what way?
I I have a boyfriend, and I don't even always want to call him anymore.
The thing is, with us, you don't feel love. You don't feel love like the way you used to, you see. It's not like I want to get up on Ivy and just 7 ways from Sunday, love. 24 hours. This is the Nile Station. You know what I mean?
That would be really weird.
I mean, not really. It'd be great when you think about it. Shrugs.
No, you're like even
I'm like,
give some a mild shrug. It's like no one wants to know when their parents are doing it. That's just weird.
what I'm saying is, Ivy and I have a connection far deeper. Not because it's not the normal sense of love. It's just, we found each other. It's love, but it's a different kind. One that we both understand that because we're going to live for a very long time, that we know every layer of each other, not out of some sexual desire or anything like that, even though she's fucking beautiful. It's more that we get to know every inch of each other because we have the time to do that. Can you say the same for your boyfriend?
No.
That's something you need to think about, love.
I mean,
In time, you give her a smile. That's a big advantage you have. You got a fucking eons of time.
does that usually happen?
Depends. It depends on the person, really. You can spend your whole life wondering for that person, or you can find them when you're still very young. Depends on what you want
say
in
your
life.
whole life, but like a whole life is a really long time.
You could spend over like 400 years, apparently, from what I know, which is fucking like.
Well, that's heartening.
But you never know, love. You could find it straight away. It's when someone understands who you are and accepts it, but doesn't try to change it, but just tries to understand what you are. That's a keeper. And someone who can sing safety dance with you as well. That's always a good sign.
Man, this is weird.
It's not that bad, love. Believe me, I've seen weirder.
I don't know. Sometimes it seems pretty bad.
Trust me, love. I've seen weirder. I've seen Polo naked.
That's pretty weird.
It's really weird, love.
Oh god, I almost lost him too.
He does that. Just remember, think of the guidelines.
I mean, the guidelines weren't especially good when there were people.
It's very good with the guidelines. Why do you move from a building to building every 5 minutes? I'll check for the guidelines, make sure no one's following you, love. Tap the side of his head. Lose Polo. Think of how to find him. Follow the guidelines.
But if we go around and around, there's more chances for someone to see us.
Not necessarily now, love. Gives her a sly grin.
Seemed like it.
Well, trust me, next time you lose Polo, think of the guidelines.
Does everyone follow the guidelines?
I mean, you can shoot everyone. It's not like everyone follows it. It's just tips, you know? It's the early stages of how to understand what you are. Tips. It's the little things, love.
Yeah, I guess.
The little things make the difference.
What do the guidelines say when you meet other people like us?
What I always do when I meet a new person I'm not quite sure of, keep them at a distance. I let them get a bit close, be a bit friendly, but I never reveal too much about myself. But I know everything about them, you see. That taps the side of his head. Ask the right questions, but when they ask the same questions back, you give the right answers.
I mean, I don't even know.
For example, does this new person know where you live?
No, we
There,
barely even talked to her.
well, there you go then. Hoopsie Daisy and Hacky Pookie. Why? Who'd you meet? Stare.
Uh, Arthur's, he said she was his aunt?
Arthur rolls intelligence. Oh yeah, he has that many intelligence checks. He does. Oh,
Arthur. Who the fuck's Arthur?
I don't know. Didn't Alexis call you when we met him?
Oh, he did.
rolls intelligence again. Lower diff.
Oh, Nia's had a busy fucking evening.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he
He's
told
gonna
you
roll.
he didn't tell me anything after the
Nip
call.
Sub. You can peony this.
I
He rolled
will
a nip
peony
sub.
it.
Pre.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. I think I know his auntie. Well, what you do is, you just don't tell them much about yourself. Does she know your name?
I don't even. I think I told her my name was Alice. We were kind of like it was right as we were trying to leave, so she was just at the door and freaked me out.
Does she know who Ivy is? Does she know you're with Ivy?
I don't think we even got that far.
Oh, well, then you're all right then. Pat's shoulder.
Should people not know?
Not everyone gets along. You see, don't give too much away about yourself, but give the right amount. You just be careful who you see, and if you see them acting a bit suspicious, remember the guidelines. You can vanish if you need to, love.
I mean, we got the hell out.
There you go.
What do the guidelines say about people disintegrating when they're shot into a pile of mush?
They're one of us.
Oh.
That's how some of us die, unfortunately, love.
Well, I don't know who it was, but that happened.
All right. Just puts his arm around her.
There was a guy there with her, and he shot a guy in the head, and the guy like exploded into guts. And
what the guy look like?
She'll give kind of an inexpert description.
Oh yeah. He doesn't try to hide this. His face. He rubs his chin. Like I said, there are authority figures, love. Have to keep the peace. Best clear out of the way.
I mean, that is what we did. We
then you stuck to the you stuck to the guidelines, love.
Yep. Yeah, I guess so. Jeez.
Well then, what I want you to do now, love, and this is the most fundamental thing. I want you to turn that movie off, or well, watch it too. I want you to go to sleep.
What?
Because you look like you need rest, love.
Yeah, I guess.
And you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna go show Pose this new hat. He stands up all proud.
Is Polo even gonna remember the new hat?
He'll fucking remember, because I'll fucking keep reminding him every day.
Are you gonna wear that thing every day?
Nods firmly.
Okay.
This entire fucking house is gonna know how good of a dad I am. Starts walking determinedly towards the door.
She just re-cocoons. Now with a bag of popcorn nested in the cocoon with her.
Mm-hmm. He goes to leave unless you say anything to him.
Hey, Niall.
Spins on you. Yeah, love?
Thanks.
Walks over. Plants a kiss on the top of her forehead. Gotta make sure the girls are alright.
I feel like we're never gonna be all right.
You got no Reeve, love. You're always alright. Winks.
She again pulls kind of the weak smile because he's fucking endearing.
He
She wants
grins
to
at
fucking wallow, but it's hard.
grins at her. Remember, love, what's the fundamental rule?
Follow the guidelines?
Ah, that's my girl. Rubs her hair. And as he closes the door, you hear, Bodo! Look at me up, mate!
Oh god. She's been forcibly jostled out of her bad mood. If only because the fact that as soon as the door is closed, it's loud enough to ring through it.
Oh yeah, you get the sense he did that fucking deliberately. And you're, oh, this is a nice hat.
Oh god.
Like you actually hear him go, Georgina, look at it! He's running all around the house.
Running around the house screaming at the top of his lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Yeah. If nothing else, she considers restarting the movie, but considering that the alternative is periodically hearing Niall scream about this hat, she finally just plops the laptop shut and kind of shoves it down towards the foot of the bed. And yeah, she will lounge back, finish her popcorn, and probably nod off early. To the soothing sound of Niall being Niall. I suppose with that, we can close the scene. So thank you, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Dun dun dun.